Hello. Welcome to the fifth part of the God's Gambit. At the beginning of this part we see that there is a really big tree right beside the city. It is Sector A jungle. Some players get there and says, "Dungeon found." Oh, looks like it's an unregistered dungeon. Great. This one's ours to devour. Will you be okay? If we report the dungeon location to the army, they might take 50 points each. And what will you do with that chump change, huh? He bring out his weapon. It is right BFD. Black Flame Dragon. Hero Grease one-handed sword. Fire damage medium. Extra damage when equipped in the right hand. When equipped with the left WID. White Ice Dragon. Attribute damage large. Now that we're in the other world, let's make history. Party name Kangs and Roses. Party leader Kong do Yeep 3 level. Party members 4. Something comes out of the dungeon. They see it and say, "Something's coming." A gatekeeper monster? The pattern's so damn obvious. He says, "Come on, we used to be attack quad leaders and guild masters. This world is nothing but a playground for." It's Choi-Yul. He got a really big bag of treasure. He says, "Choi." Choi appears behind him and says, "The cripple is the boss. Weakness lightning attribute. Use is poison, so an antidote is a must." They says, "Stop it, you lunatic." Choi-Yul says, "Surprisingly fast, so the tankers must focus on guarding healers and mages. Also, there's a room hidden inside this dungeon where." After that we see at a restaurant. Someone hits the table and says, "I can't believe we became sacrifices of sovereignty on the first damn day of the mission. How is any of this fair? We ought to do something about that, Choi-Yul." His friend says, "What can we do about a guy at max level with a mythical class weapon? Let's just call it quits on the wasted mission and lay low." Here at the Sacrifices of Sovereignty Isolation Camp, a girl comes to them and asks, "Where did he get you guys?" He says, "The jungle area. In my case, it was the canyon." Did you see the look on Choi-Yul's face? He looked like the devil. I know, right? I'm telling you, those are his true colors. He said, "Now spread the sacrifices of sovereignty for me." With that face, and I almost shat myself. Honestly, I thought to hell with the sacrifice or whatever. I figured I'd simply find the treasure. But I didn't want to benefit from Choi-Yul, so I returned to the camp. Right, me too. Yeah, we can't just let Choi-Yul manipulate us as he wishes. Choi-Yul is sitting on the pills of treasure. System says, registered count of sacrifices of sovereignty 2,452. The Demon King Christina is somewhat satisfied. The Demon King's punishment has lessened a bit. He thinks, finally, it's a bit bearable now. What on earth? Demon King's punishment? There's no such feature in the item's description. This book isn't actually revealing all the information about itself. He says, "Well, it's within the range of the events I anticipated." The Demon King seems to be under the impression that he has me under control with his punishment. But around the end of this mission, he'll find out who the one in control truly is. Let's give it a shot. After that we see the Sector B Canyon. Emperor Griffin's Nest. Monster Elite Emperor Griffin. Difficulty level 3. A fantastical griffin said to have inherited dragon blood. Difficulty level when fighting inside the nest +1. He was sitting in a griffin's nest. Haiju is fighting a troll. It is an elite monster. Rock Troll. Difficulty level 2. A troll that has evolved to adapt to the canyon environment. She thinks power isn't meant to be controlled. Instead, allow it to flow and let it decide its own course. She cuts the troll's head, and she says, "Thank you, master. Your disciple has gotten a bit stronger." Someone is with her. She says, "This one's just so-so." "Oh, this is quite." Haijo says, "Hey there, Miss Jaiwoo?" Jaiwoo says, "Miss? Come on, use casual language." Haijo says, "Sure, bitch. Why are you following me around?" Jaiwoo says, "Because riding your coattails reaps me most benefits." Haiju thinks, "She said that so proudly that I don't even know what to say." Jaiwoo says, "What's wrong? You're not going to leave a fragile citizen alone in this dangerous place, are you?" She says, "Wait for a bit." She sends a message saying, "I sent you the coordinates. Take the treasure and share it." Uncle Wong says, "Okay, I'll be right there." The troll is watching them from above. She says, "That's quite small considering how you followed me all day." Jaiwoo says, "Well, My motto's quality over quantity. You can't tell what a treasure is until you bring it back to the city and have it appraised, right? So gotta take stuff that makes you think this is it. Haiju says, how do you know that this is it? She says, with my eyes. Haiju thinks, she's kinda strange, yet cool. Jaiwu says, what about your friends? She says, I got rid of the monsters on my way here. Jaiwu says, you really don't know anything, do you? Monsters aren't the enemies for this mission. And even more so, it's not a peaceful mission like a treasure hunt. This is an all-out individual battle. Since there's no common reward, the treasure isn't claimed until after the appraisal. Then someone will get this idea, won't they? That it's easier to fight people rather than monster. After that we see there is a broken window. Police are there investigating. Detective Seo gets there. He says, another case of stolen treasure? Kong Dushik is also there. Policeman says, yes, apparently. He suddenly blacked out during the treasure appraisal. And when he woke up, all his treasures were gone. They should have handed the treasure straight to the god of gold. Dushik says, yeah, the treasure appraisal takes time. After all, it randomly takes between 1 to 12 hours. Almost as if the system's telling them to steal it if you can. Seo says, why would you interpret that as the system telling them to steal? That pathetic thought process, geez. Dushik says, I think it's a very human-like interpretation. Policeman says, can't believe he's not letting Detective Seo, the brown bear of the violent crimes unit, get to him. Who is that man? I know, right? I don't think he's a police officer. He says, Choi Yul. Nah, he's not Choi Yul. No, behind him. I'm telling you that's Choi Yul. Really? Choi says, hey. Seo grabs his mouth to shut him up. Seo uses Fungbak's Clove legendary class gloves. One of the 3 divine relics of the old dynasty contains the power of the wind god. Wind attack high, capable of controlling surrounding air. Upon collecting all the 3 divine relics, the grade changes to mythical. Effects are activated only if you're the only one wearing them, or if the 3 divine relics are within the party. Dushik says, send out a Choi Yul alert and evacuate the people here. Policeman says, yes, sir. He thinks, going straight in when both his gear and level put him at a disadvantage is certainly an occupational habit worthy of respect. But I'd be even happier if that was an occupational habit. Gets him killed at the hands of Choi Yul. Seo says, you're not even dodging. Nor do you seem the slightest bit shocked. What are you scheming, Choi Yul? There are a lot of messages going around. They says, Choi Yul did it. Choi Yul just got arrested. I saw it. My cop friend told me that he's being questioned without any resistance. Maybe he's not so bad? Everyone, clam down. This is all Choi Yul's plan. He turned himself in and was jailed? That's. Everyone picks up their weapons and starts the treasure hunt. They says, our chance. Take your equipment. We need to earn as much as we can while Choi Yul's gone. The one piece, I mean the treasure, is mine. After that we see a sector jungle goblin village. Some players are killing the goblins. One of them is using Owl Warrior's Tomahawk, heroic class axe. An EXE rewarded the best warrior of the Night Owl tribe. Come back if you throw it. He says, clear, my ass. The cleaning up is always my responsibility. Li Wu Jin uses Elfiran's pride. Heroic class bow. The bow of the elf species hero, Elfran. Here bow disappeared when she disappeared. Projection speed force increased small. When using an arrow made by elves, speed force is increased intermediate. The goblins are ringing. They are killing them easily. They says, we lost one. That's why I told you to use a gun. The bow and arrow is the way to go in fantasy. Look at how he's laughing at us. Nah, who cares? Someone kills the goblin. We have the sergeant. Sergeant says, those idiots. They're gonna run 10 laps around the drill ground once we're back. His name is Park Seonju. He is wearing overcoat of Wanderer. Magical class clothing. Heat cold resistance small. Decreases likelihood of being noticed by monsters small. He says, platoon commander, we're done with the outer region. Quan says, alright. We're almost done here too. Quan Jaeyong is level 20. A Galbine is performing some kind of ritual. Goblin says, our god will descend upon us soon. Once our god is here, now one can avoid death. Your end will spread like trees in a Kwon gets there. Kim Kwang-soo is with them. He uses explosion ring. Magical class accessory. Allows use of magic explosion ring. Magical class accessories. Allows use of magic explosion. Cooldown time 30 minutes. A really big purple explosion. Kwon says, attacking while transforming or summoning is cheating. But we're soldiers, not anime characters. They break a door and say, Platoon Commander, we've found the target. It's the 18 citizens that were reported missing. Most are heavily injured. We need backup. Military Commanding Headquarters. All right, I'll send in backup. And the construction unit will come too. We plan on making that goblin village our outpost. Anyway, I heard that Choi-il got caught. Do you know what he's planning? Kwon says, no. He says, what's scary about him isn't the Krasina's book state, but his brain that takes in all that data and knows exactly what to do with it. Predicting the moves of someone like that is rather hard, but the one thing we can be certain about is that he's not our enemy. After that, we see the Griffin sitting outside the police station. Choi-il is eating dushik. I guess even a max-level person like you gets hungry too. He says, yep. Seo says, small talk? Are you serious? Seo says, Choi-il, you're a criminal right now. Fraud, robbery, and even murder. Choi-il says, yep. That was all me. I acknowledge it. Seo says, it's been 20 years since I started working in the field. All I need is a look at the criminal. You're not a bad guy. Everything that happened to you was an accident. Dushik says, well, I guess that means it's the perfect situation for the Good Samaritan law. Seo says, it's good that you gave yourself in. I'll take responsibility for undoing the misunderstanding that people have about you. Choi-il says, I didn't come here to seek your help. He says, what? One of the policemen says, Detective, urgent news. It's an assault case, but the perpetrator has a piece of heroic class equipment, so they're having a hard time trying to arrest him, and the incidents keep happening, but we don't have enough. Dushik says, when it comes to missions without a common reward, I guess there is no cooperation at all. This is how it should have been from the get-go. A chaos for a new order, fit for a new world and new powers. Seo says, you really have the attitude of a piece of shit. You should practice thinking like a sane person. I don't get all this otherworld stuff, but we're still human, whether it's the otherworld or this world or that world. Arresting people who don't want to act like people should is a policeman's sole mission. We're arresting you for robbery, assault, and attempted murder. Seo grabs his sword and breaks it with his hands. He says, it's gonna get a bit rough if you resist. What are you gonna do? He says, I'll surrender. Dushik says, geez, Earth's laws don't have meaning anymore. Let's just work together to become this city's kings. It won't even be hard with my help. Seo says, that's why I'm keeping you beside me. You're the most dangerous guy in the city. Dushik thinks, I would have agreed with him had it been a while ago. But Choi-il, I cannot read that guy's thoughts. Turning himself in front of the public. Just a day after the mission began, he realizes something. Dushik says, I think we're going to be really busy from now on. Seo says, what? Why? He says, since Choi-il is under arrest, it's the people's golden chance to act. Seo says, then the city will be a whole mess. You think that's what Choi-il was going for? No way. Dushik thinks, right? What Choi-il wanted was to make the people act. But what about after that? People will hide from Choi-il again. Once the next mission starts. Choi-il thinks now, it's just a fight of patience. System says, remaining stamina, 92.13%. Sacrifice of sovereignty, 2,352. Demon King's punishment, in progress. The Demon King wants more sacrifices. The Demon King is feeling displeased. The 5th part of the God's Gambit ends here. Subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.